Two budget webcams. Let's find out which one's better. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out budget webcams. This is the EMEET C950. It's a 1080p webcam, and as you can see, it's a pretty small little guy that just clips on the top of your display. And this is the Logitech C270, which is a 720p webcam, and it also clips on top. In fact, both of them are pretty neat the way they're designed. So you just put this on the back of your laptop typically and adjust it the way you want. You can adjust the camera forward and backward and get it to just the right angle. So that's the Logitech. This is the EMEET, and the same sort of idea, but the EMEET adds one cool feature, is that if you tilt it all the way back, this is what they call their privacy mode, and automatically the microphone and the camera will turn off, which is important because you might leave it plugged into your computer 24/7 just so it's ready when you're ready. So let me give you some specs, and then we're going to do a little shootout using Zoom, and I'm going to hook them both up simultaneously, and we'll just be able to switch back and forth, and you'll be able to hear and see to compare for yourself which one you think does a better job. So this is the EMEET C950. It's a 1080p 30 frame per second webcam with a 70-degree field of view. It has that privacy mode. As I've flipped it back, if I tilt it more this way, it'll work more normal. And it has two noise canceling microphones, so it definitely is going to do a good job of picking up audio. Has a, 4-foot cable, and then there's a USB-A plug on the end, and that's basically everything. Now, one thing that EMEET does is they also have an app called EMEET Link, which is great because you can get to the parameters of the camera and you can adjust them, which turns out to be important. Now, by contrast, this is the Logitech C270. It's a 720p 30 frame per second HD webcam. So this one's giving us a little better resolution, but again, if you're using it for things like Zoom, not sure that 720 to 1080 is a huge jump. Well, look, you'll see for yourself. Now, one big difference is this is a 55-degree field of view. Remember, this one's 70 degrees. And what does that mean? It means if you imagine the camera, if it had a 1-degree field of view, it would just see directly in front of it. But it doesn't. It actually sees around. So a 55-degree field of view is going to give you just about a quarter. So instead of it being like that's 90 and that's 45, it's going to be like there. But then the EMEET is going to give you a little wider angle. There's a little more it will pick up behind you. So that's worth noting. Now, the Logitech also has a noise-reducing microphone, but it's only one mic. Does that matter? We're not sure. We'll have to find out. And it too has the same length cable and a USB-A plug on the bottom. So here are the boxes. Don't think we need them for this, so we will take them away. And instead, what I have is I have the latest Lenovo Yoga PC, super nice computer, and I'm using this pluggable USB expansion dock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this into the Lenovo, and then I'm going to plug both cameras into it, because this gives me that USB-A, which is the rectangle, to USB-C, which is something that the Yoga actually prefers. So we're going to switch it over, and then I'm going to come back in Zoom, and we'll be able to see how this all switches around. So give me a second.
The first camera I'm going to demonstrate is the EMEET webcam, and you can see it has a really clean, crisp image. There's a lot of detail there, and the nuance on the skin tone, pretty nice actually. You're also hearing the audio being picked up by that dual microphone system. So sounds pretty good. Now, to be fair, I did go into the EMEET Link app and I just a tiny bit dialed down the saturation because it felt like it was a little oversaturated. But one of the benefits is you have the option and the ability to do that. That's really great. Now, let me switch everything around and I'll give you a demonstration of the Logitech unit. Now, this is the Logitech unit, both the microphone picking up my voice and the camera. As I said, this is a 720p instead of a 1080p, but it's still a pretty darn nice image. One thing to notice is because it has a smaller field of view, I seem to be a little closer to the camera. The two of them are in exactly the same position. but you now can see how they compare, and you can decide, what do you think looks better? I think they're both really good solutions, but I think one has a slight edge. Let me jump back on my regular camera and we can talk about that.
Pretty interesting demo, actually. I think both cameras actually did really well. And you can see, even with 720p, Zoom HD does a really good job. I looked really good with both cameras. I feel like I sounded really good with both cameras. A little bit tricky getting the microphone to switch, but suffice to say, you could see both of them are really credible, and more likely than not, both of them are a significant upgrade from what you have right now with your built-in webcam. Now, it turns out this Lenovo has an excellent built-in camera, but it's also a really spendy laptop. So, a lot of people, that's not what they got. So, what I want to do is I want to just end it by talking about the price. But before we get there, two things. Number one, I mentioned about EMEET, the EMEET camera, and the ability to adjust the different settings and levels. Here's what that EMEET Link app looks like. And you can see it's pretty simple, but it's really helpful to be able to go and adjust the parameters if you have a special case or you need to tweak it a little bit. Easily done. Now, let's talk about price. But the second thing I want to do is I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel first. So click or tap on that subscribe button and then turn on notifications so you know about my new content and we're connected. Sweet. Now, let's talk prices. This is the EMEET C950 webcam with a 70-degree field of view, and it is $29.99, currently discounted down to $17.99 at Amazon.com. That is a pretty wicked good deal for this camera, if you ask me. And then the other contender here is the Logitech C270 720p 55-degree field of view camera, and it also did a really credible job. It is $39.99, currently discounted down to $24.70 at Amazon.com. So this one $17.99, this one $24.70. They're within what, like $7 of each other, so they're pretty close. But I gotta say, the EMEET kind of wins. I think it did a better job with the video. I think the two microphones with the noise canceling definitely works well. And 1080p versus 720p, yeah, make your own decision. In both cases, you're going to look terrific on Zoom or Hangouts or Skype or Teams or Blue Jeans or, oh my gosh, there's a million different apps that could be using your video camera. And in both cases, really nice options. One of the things that really edges out the EMEET for me is that turns off the camera, and that's a really nice feature. So, it's everything I got. I'll hope to catch you in my next video.